Well, hello. Good morning, Margaret. Hello, Father. Amber, Kate, good morning. Um, uh, Real quickly, if you notice this right there, I can't do nothing about that right now. Now, you guys know I do green screens behind me, but I'm laughing because I was going nuts like literally a minute ago. I'm watching the countdown. And it's like you're watching the pre-countdown because the streaming platform I use counts down. And so I'm like earlier, I'm like, there's nothing going on. I don't see this weird thing here. And then a minute in, I'm like, it's not going away. And I'm like doing this, and I'm like, what is happening? I'm like, it's not a bad image that I'm displaying. I know, Amber. I know it's snow, but it's winter. Hey, Donna. Good morning. But so I realized when I look back here, in fact, you guys, I think I showed it last week, but let me do this for you because you guys will get a kick out of this. I want you to see exactly what that spot is. Hey, Tom, good morning. It is hilarious. Where do I got to go? I haven't done. Oh, here we go. Um, you guys are gonna love this. So you see the spot there, right here. Okay, check this out. This is crazy. All right, wait, where is it? That is the sun coming through my basement windows. It is literally piercing the screen so much that it's oversaturating. So that way, the image can't display because it can't see the green. So I'm like, what is this? So I got the sun killing my image right now, but that's all right. It is what it is. But yeah. So yeah, it was crazy. I'm like, I thought it was like I'm like, this pic, I had this pic, I've used it a couple years ago and I loved it. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I want to start bringing some of my winter pics out, Amber. So, so I was like, this is great. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that picture. What is going on? It's like you were editing like a photo and you were trying to like white something out. And I'm like, oh, this is terrible. So maybe at some point the sun will go away. And then I was like, I'm under a minute before I do the start the show, and I'm sitting there thinking, can I put something in front of it like this? And I'm not going to hold my hand here the whole time, but so I it blew my mind. I thought this was something bad, but that is the sun piercing through the basement windows. It's crazy. So I've never had that happen before. I mean, normally I got to light this place up a lot more. I mean, I got one, two, three, four, five lights in front of me. And then I got a rope light that's doing that side of the green screen, and then another light that's hitting the top of the screen. And I have another one here ready just in case to get that side. So I've got all kinds of lights to try to make this look something of a professional deal, which it's not, but it's close enough, right? So I at least have fun with it. But yeah, no, so ignore that for now, and we'll just get through the show without it. So, but yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, that's nature. Hey, I'm not complaining about the sun. I'm just glad I figured it out. I mean, I'm in a technical field, so I should be able to at least figure something out. At least I was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. So, um, but hey, Michelle, good morning. But yeah, no, I hopefully you guys are doing well. I got so much to talk about, besides jumping into the topic too. So I want to just start firing away and get through a few things. But I wanted to go back. I know you guys understand. You guys aren't. Hey, Candice, thank you so much. I know, you guys know I don't need to, but I'm going to apologize for not making it last week. I've always said, especially once I started getting the show lit back up again, that I, would take care of myself. And if something wasn't right, I would just play it safe regardless, and look out for myself. So that way, I didn't make anything worse, because obviously, this could have dragged out, even longer, maybe. But I was glad I did, take care of myself. I mean, to give you a little backstory of what was going on. Hey, Jim, good morning. To give you a little bit of a backstory. Yeah, I'm sure you were, Dad. um, so my birthday was on the 6th. So hey, Donna, good morning. So my birthday was on the 6th, that Wednesday before, and if you, I I had took the day off, and so, I didn't have much going on other than the fact that, locally, in the Toledo area, we have an ECHL team, called the Toledo Walleyes, and it was a school event. However, they didn't sell out every seat for kids, and the bus drivers and the teachers and stuff. So they opened it up to the public, and I'm like, you know what? I want to go. I mean, it's my birthday. How cool is this? I mean, normally something would be at night, but I'm like, this is a 10:30 puck drop. I'm thinking this will be fantastic. And right, Michelle. Uh, and so I got a couple tickets. So my wife and I went, and we had a good time, even though the team lost, but it was still a good time. However, a little bit during the game, I started kind of having some upgrade symptoms, and I'm like trying to, go with the game, because we were up a little bit, and then we just got smoked. But hey Debbie, good morning. And so I started noticing things, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like, my birthday of all days, and it wasn't too bad and stuff. I only have to see Candace. I have to say Jeff Landers ads for his new books has a picture that looks like you. That's true. That I remember. Yeah, you did. No, you didn't. You didn't defend me for. I thought it was great. I mean, if you look at it when it's small and not blown up, you mean it for a second, you really do believe it. So no, no, please do. I don't get offended by that stuff. I mean, you know, but I but yeah, I started, having some hot flashes, which, hey Ron, good morning. And so I was like, oh man, and this is always like that one of those key moments for me that's like, oh, here we go. And and I did pretty good for the rest of the day. I mean, the rest of the birthday was fine. Everything was, I mean, it was just those little things that I've been used to having so often. And then Thursday, I went back to work for a couple days, before then the weekend. But every day got a little bit worse, got a little bit worse, got a little bit worse. And again, it was just all symptom related because I wasn't sick. I didn't have anything. The hot flashes are completely normal, 98 degrees perfectly. I make sure that I'm not just hallucinating, and I just it was just wild. And so it kept going. And then when I woke up, well, Friday night, I was like, yeah, I just feel so tired. I'm exhausted. And it just wasn't, I just couldn't think as clearly. I mean, enough to where I could function through the day and do my job. Because even then, that week, was my first week of being a manager. So I really had to try to be a little bit more on the ball and stuff. But yeah, I got through it, and then luckily it was good because I probably would have canceled Saturday morning. Hey Jennifer, and I would have canceled Saturday morning anyway because I woke up with a pretty significant headache. It wasn't quite migraine, but it was definitely on that top end of it. So I was like, yeah, this was another good reason for me not to, I made the right decision the night before to not have the show. So yeah, yeah, well, you would like that because then you want me giving you free food. That's the only reason you would want me to be a manager of Taco Bell or McDonald's. Jeff, good morning. So uh, but yeah, no, it was just one of the things. But luckily then by probably Saturday evening that it's one of those things too that I finally get tired of the whole headaches. And with a headache, I mean, I let it go as naturally as I can. I don't want to try to take something if I don't have to. Pain regardless. I really hold off. I mean, I'm a stickler about it. I just don't want to rely on, that stuff. I mean, if for me, I'm not telling and saying anything different about anybody else. You do what you do. But for me, I kind of like try to fight through it, and I got a high pain tolerance. So, but by the afternoon, it was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I finally got to take something. It's just not easing up. So this is like, hey, Carmen, good morning. So I knew it was a legit deal, so I'm like done. So I took something, and then, then by evening, 8 or so, it was all gone. And then I finally felt good, I felt normal. So I was like, okay, well, this, is promising for Sunday, so I woke up Sunday and it was pretty normal, it was pretty good. So, yeah, right. Well, I wish I could have claimed that, Dad. It'd be great to say it was a hangover, but no, it wasn't. It really, I wish, but no. I would have at least said, yeah, it's a hangover. I deserve this, but no, it wasn't. But so yeah, so then every since Sunday on, I've been good. Hey Jen. So I've been doing pretty well since then, and just getting into the run of things. So still working, the manager thing, because this was only week 2 that I just completed. Now starting yesterday and then all of next week, I'm doing multiple roles. So I'm still doing managing stuff. So I'm still learning the ropes on, everything I need to do. But at the same time, I'm also covering our help desk now because my brother, who works under me now, so I can actually say that. I finally got the ruling back on top of him, and so Margaret, yes, he is. He hasn't touched him in a few days because he's been doing some um, Advent Legos things that was kind of a cool little thing. But so he's been playing with that every day, so you get to build like a little mini, item or something. So that's his focus right now. Um, but yeah, he still loves it. We still get it out for him. He's just been stuck on the Advent calendar. Um, but I um oh my gosh, where was I going? So yeah, I'm going to be covered. So I'm covering help desk. I started yesterday, and then I'm going to cover it for 5 days next week, and then I will be officially done for the year. Which is great. So I'll work till next Friday, and then 4 o'clock it's party time. Because then we get all week off paid. Holiday. So looking forward to that. And then, but it should be slow. So, typically it is because everybody saves up their vacation time and is, using it, so that way they can get maximum amount. And it's like what my brother did. He's got basically just a touch over 2 weeks off. So, you can't complain about that. So, uh, let's see, anything else important, because I want to get to this next thing real quick. Cool. All right. So, there's this next part I'm going to tell you guys just happened this week, and it's definitely going to be one of those kind of cool moments. I know it was for me, and I wasn't expecting anything like this, of course, which just makes it a little bit more profound. But as you guys know, I've been kind of, keeping it, just trying to take my time with things. I was going to try to at Halloween to try to do maybe some card readings, and then that just fell apart because it just, nope, not ready, And so I haven't been doing anything. I've only done I've done a couple like really super quick, real quick message, but nothing like, diving into it. And the only healings I've done has been with my mom, and that was when she hurt her knee over the summer when she fell. So that was about the only time I've kind of jumped into action, because other than that, I would just feel so miserable and sick, scheduling something that I just knew that it wasn't the right time. So Tuesday night this week, I got reached out by a friend, and she literally the days before was sent me a cool, you guys know I love Krampus, and she sent me this recipe for these Krampus cookies. But what was neat was, I want to say cookie cutter, but it was more of a press. But when you roll out the dough, you press down, and it was a cool Krampus image on it. And so, you bake them and stuff. And the recipe looks kind of cool. I mean, like, obviously I wouldn't have the cookie cutter for it, but maybe just making the recipe might be kind of neat. But so, in when I first saw it, I didn't get a chance to like look at it and read it too much. So then when I finally did, I made a couple little comments. She didn't see it, for another day or so. And then when she came back, she says, "Hey, I'm sorry. I've got something going on." And this was Tuesday then. She says, "I got something going on. I have a really close friend of mine that's really sick." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I hate to hear that, And she was saying, she's in the hospital. She's unconscious. She's in critical condition. Her kidneys are failing. Her liver is failing. And they just had to ventilate her, put her on a ventilator." And I'm like, whoa. I mean, that's as serious as it gets, And, she said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to send her some healing and stuff. And I already knew at that point, it's tough when you're in a situation, which is why it's tough for mediums to work with their own family members or close friends. It makes it difficult because there's kind of that, you know, you can help, but it doesn't mean it's always going to be successful. Things, and then sometimes your energies, like in her case, she was over the top ecstatic, or ecstatic in the sense of, she was worried. I mean, it's basically a best friend, and so she was, struggling with it, which there's you still we all can send everybody, love and light. That happens. We all do that. I send it to you guys all the time, and it's no big deal. Um, but when you're in a critical situation like what her friend's going through, it's you're not you're there, you want to help, but at the same time you're also worried sick, yourself. And so it can interfere. And so, even she said, she goes, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I said, well, you did pretty much what you can do, but at the same time I explained it to her. It's like, yeah, sometimes, uh it's not always going to be like a full dose. Let's put it that way. You're not giving a full the full medicine, so to speak, to her. But just the point of helping and throwing a good message towards her like that is huge. That is real huge. And so after, going back and forth a little bit, and then she started to tell me, who she is, what her name is, and it finally I was just like, is there anything I can do? I know I've never met her. I don't know anything about her, other than just, what she's now dealing with. And she's in a hospital in critical condition. So she goes, "Oh my gosh, that would be great. What, I would appreciate it, And I'm like, okay. I said, well, it was getting pretty late Tuesday night. And I'm like, I can't, I'm too tired. It's been a long day because I'm up early for work. And so I said, well, let me do this. I said, I'll have some moments at work. And normally I don't do this stuff at work, but I said, I'll have a few minutes where I can, just try to send a little something. I said, however, and you guys have heard me talk about this, especially if you've seen my healing presentation before, in person, you know, one of the key things to offering healing is getting the permission from that person that needs it. Okay. Um, I've had, a handful of people or so wanting me to send a loved one of theirs healing. I said, that's great. But I said, can I get their permission? Well, I don't want them to know, which is like, because they don't believe in spiritual type of healings. And I was like, okay, but the way this works is when you ask for it, hey, I'm dealing with something, or I need you to heal me or help heal me, you've got to word it to the person. That is in a way of opening that door up for any of us that do healings for others, the opportunity to walk through and provide that. Yeah, we can slip a little bit under the door, so to speak, and offer that, but it's not the same. And just like what I said, you're not getting the full dose. It really is the same. And so I was thinking about it, literally as we were going back and forth. And oh, cool. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. I'm glad you're awake. I know it's a little early over there in Cali. So yeah, thanks for joining. Um, I was, so I was, so I was literally, as I was messaging back and forth, because it was just, messages. And so it hit me. I'm like, I don't think this has ever been done before, but I have an idea. I have an idea how I can get permission from her friend to allow me to give her a full dose of healing. I've never tried it before. I even mentioned, I'm like, I got an idea. I've never done this before. I've never heard of anybody doing this before in this way. I'm like, I want to see what I can do. I want to see if this will work. And if not, no big deal. I'll still give what I can get, to help, which, again, won't be the full shot, but I will certainly offer it. I, go to bed because again, it was getting late. So I'm like, okay, I will let you know when I'm all done. So it was a little bit it was after 9:30. Yeah, it was right just after 9:30. I finally saw that I had a little bit of a window. So I'm in my office. Luckily I got a door and there's not a lot of, people walking around. So I don't hear a ton of, distractions. So I'll close the door, kind of go into my meditation, get my guides rallied up, explain what we're doing, ask for, guidance for this because this is something a little different than the norm. I'm done healing, but this is a little bit different because we're going to see if we can ask for it. So get into my meditation and, I go up to her, I go to her friend. Hey, Nick, good morning. I go to her friend because she's literally in another state. Like I said, I can't provide locations and names, but so I will go to I remote into, the hospital. Next to her in her bed. And I then like, well, this is the moment that I have to see if this is going to work. Can I get to her? Because obviously she's unconscious. She's not, there's no signs. I mean, she's just hanging on, I mean, that's as sad as I can put it, but she's basically hanging on for life, dear life. So I I tap in, and then this is when it hit me. It's like, try this. Again, I'm using my bad word, try, but I was like, I just don't know. Well, what I did was, is I jumped into her spiritual self, her energy, her energetic essence, and was standing before her. Okay. Now, there's forms of this, but not when it comes to healing. So when I see her, we're in this kind of roundish room that is relatively black. There's only a little bit of light in the center of the room, just enough to see each other. And she's very confused. She doesn't know what's going on, can't see really, where to go. So she's just staying by this light, not in the light, but just staying near it because it's the only ambient, light that she can see. So I come up to her and I said, "Hey," I introduced myself and I said, "Don't be afraid." I said, I was asked by your close friend," gave her, the friend's name, and said, "You're not, your human body is not doing so well right now. And I'm here to see if you'll allow me to help you. And if I can provide some type of healing, so that way, not only your friend can see you wants to see you again very badly, but also your family members do. And they're around. They're hoping that you will get through this." And so I said, "Okay." I said, "Would that be okay?" And I said, "I don't you'd be afraid." I said, I'm gonna explain everything to you. Now you gotta remember this is I'm I'm in a I'm like within a room is within a room right now. So I'm like, yeah, 3 rooms into this, so we're going deep into several different, origins, I guess we could say. So she goes, "Yeah, I mean, granted, she was a little nervous, and I get that because, she doesn't know me, Here's long haired, long bearded, freak that's standing in front of her wanting to heal her. I'm sure that's scary enough as it is. But in those instances, on that side of the thing, that's not so much of a visual judgment. It is more, energy, listen, feeling out the vibes of each other because, it's not like us humans. We're a little bit more, you know, verbal about, you gotta, oh, it's gotta be this and it has to be, I throw that out the window. But so she was open, um, put a table out for her to lay on. So she jumps up on the table and I said, "You can watch for a little bit," but I said, "There's going to be a part where I don't want you to watch anymore." Because I don't want you, looking, because I wanted her energetic self to be in a certain place before I go through the main part of what we're doing. So I scan her over, kind of confirm things of, where the target areas I want to hit. Now I already knew before going in, she had liver and kidney failure. So I knew those were huge target areas, but it doesn't mean that I can't touch on everything else. And usually do when I do healing, it's pretty much a head to toe service, but I will stick around in certain places that if I either see them when I'm scanning them before I do the healing during this, or if they've just flat out told me where the problem is then I can just go right to there and then still see it and see that it's, different. But um, for me, when I do things is, it's not like this where you see um, all the colors like we do, I mean, sorry if there's anybody that's colorblind, but I like this. You can see color, you can see, black hoodie, that kind of thing. Hey, Dinah. So when I look at people and I scan through them, I put them in sort of where they're their body becomes more of like a blue color. And the reason I do that, or the reason why it works for me more, I can see when there's troubled spots in the body that need help. And so when I see a dark spot anywhere, it could be a wrist, it could be a knee, those stand out compared to the blue complexion because I can then make sure I hit those areas a little bit more than I would anywhere else that's still doesn't have any kind of dark color mass to it, you know. So clearly could see everything going on with the chest and the lungs because, you know, she also, I forgot to mention, she also was just starting to battle pneumonia. So that was going, hey, Jason, good morning. And I um, double check everything. And then I said, okay, well, this is the part I need you to close your eyes. And so I said, I just want you to relax. And, you know, and this was something I would do if we were working in person too, but here it is. This is within a room, within a room, within a room. And so I, you know, calm her, you know, she's calm. I said, close your eyes. And I said, I just want you to just lay there because it's a little bit different going that way than what I normally have to talk people through. So I start the healing process. I do my thing, you know, and it's, you know, a lot of energy work. Um, get the energy passing through her actual real body at this point. And get it done. I get through the areas. You know, I'm not going to describe it so don't drag us out too long, but I do it all, get the energy from head to toe, hit the target areas big time. And when I got done, you know, I do another quick scan just to make sure that everything is, hey, Sean, good morning. Making sure that everything looks as good as I can be. You know, uh, you're trying to make things a little bit better. I don't have target goals of like, say, hitting a home run. That's not how I work. You know, we want to start off small. So if we can make some improvement with her, or she's showing some positive signs, hey, Leslie, that's the amazing part about it. We want little bit, and so that's all I ever push for. If we can get something more successful, great. um so I get done, I double check her, I got her as cleaned up as I possibly could. um Back all the way out, I come back, and well, I forgot that before I was leaving I told her spiritual self, I said, hey, you know, now is this on you. You need to take care of yourself. I need you to fight for yourself. You've got your friends, and I gave her friend's name, and then I said, your family, you know, they care about you, they love you, they want to see you well, and this is on you now. You know, you have to mentally be strong about this and get yourself back. So I come back and I started to write the message to my friend to say, hey, I'm done. And problem was is then some work literally just started pouring in at that point. So like I would do something real quick with work, and then I would bang away at the keyboard to get this message sent and give her most of what you just heard described. So I'm typing this out in between stuff. And finally it was a little after 10. It was probably about maybe 10:20, something in there, 10, getting close to 10:25. I finally get the message across, but I was already done just before 10 with the whole healing with her friend. Soon as I sent her saying I'm complete, described everything, she writes back and just puts my name first, Adam. And I'm like, uh-oh, you know, I'm like, I don't know if this is good or bad, but I'm just going to be calm about it and we'll see what happens. She goes, check this out. She shows me screenshots. Now, this is the part that it's like, whoo. So she sends me screenshots. I'm her friend's sister is at her, you know, was there, or was on her way there and was getting messages from, I don't know if it was a son or something to that effect. I can't remember the gentleman's name that was their bedside. Well, with hey Michelle, good morning. Obviously within whatever time frame for when I got completed to when I finally sent the message, she was starting to show signs. She started squeezing a gentleman's hand. Again, I can't remember the relationship anyway, but she was squeezing his hands. By the time her sister got to the hospital, if I'm remembering this correctly, she was wide awake and trying to get the ventilator out of her mouth. Okay. For those that just came in, keep in mind, you've got somebody in critical condition literally for day and a half, couple days, and to go from several organs in complete failure to now wide awake and trying to pull the vent out. Do I tell this when I do My healing presentation. Do I take credit? No, I don't. Uh, was it the right time to be there? Sure. To that's what's fun about this now because during it, I don't I try to be pretty strong about it. Um, but then when you really think back about it, and especially now that I got to actually say it using my own words instead of typing it out, you know, it gets important. It gets powerful to do what I've always wanted to do to uh, help somebody. I didn't know this person at all, so you know if it gives her, a little bit more time, it was worth it, you know, and that's, uh, that's all we can ask for, you know? I did mention to my friend, I said, "We have contracts here, we each have, uh, expected time frame of how long we're gonna be here, We signed it before we were born. So, if it was her time, it was her time, and I made sure that was clear too because we are, um You know, I mean, we all wanna live forever. I mean, who doesn't? You know, but even in the instances of, real tragedies and people dying suddenly for various things, even when it's not, when it's done by somebody else, uh, it's still it was a contract that, we live out and we, we have to be acceptable of it because again, yeah, it's just one of those things, and so, uh, if we can like we did, if I could give her a little bit more time left, maybe to resolve a few more things, I don't have those answers, but, I look at it as best I could in the right light because, we just don't know, you know, when it could be the last day for any of us. And so, if this is, one of those moments where she is a fighter, there's no doubt about that. Because uh, she was fighting so much, that day to get that vent out, they had to actually sedate her to knock her back down a little bit because she was fighting so much. I mean, you know, I I wasn't, trying to get her to get out of bed right away, that's not the point, but it was the whole thing of her just to, start taking care of herself and not that she isn't, I've heard more things since of, what she has been trying to change in her life, but it's neat that, she was fighting so much that they actually had to knock her down a little bit, and, this was Wednesday, and then yesterday, they wanted her to, keep the vent in for one more day, and so they ended up pulling the vent yesterday, and so or on Thursday, they pulled the vent out of her, and she, has been, you know, she's definitely not out of the woods. There's still some more things that they gotta figure out and even, like, the liver, it looks like, the liver's still gonna be in rough shape. It's not gonna be so much in a, recoverable it to the point of where she can keep it anymore, so they're looking at they've been testing to possibly, get a liver transplant worked out, but, um, so it's, yeah, so it was neat and so, to have that moment and to, um, uh, be there and, you know sorry, I gotta do this or I'm gonna be dripping all over the place, but, um, I, you know, I had no intentions, and I've said it, for months, months and months that, I wasn't gonna try to do anything, and I don't know why this one was more profound, for me to jump in. I mean, I don't like to, again, it's one of those things too. I didn't want to push it for me to do anything, but at the same time, I wanted to at least offer something, even if it's just sending a little bit, sending a little love and light, just give her a little bit, and that way, her guides, her whatever she believes in, can take over and maybe help her see, the that she still can make it and that she still has, some time left, before her contracts, runs out. So that was that was a pretty neat moment, and so I, um, you know, still getting some updates, and so we'll definitely keeping tabs and um, I think the fun part will be is, when she does kind of get back on her feet again, it'll be neat to meet her, maybe at some point, maybe she'll be well enough to come this way, because she lives a little way, pretty far away. But if she comes this way, it'd be kind of neat to see her even for just a quick second. But yeah, so it was, like I said, it was just one of those things that I'm just grateful that, I was allowed to do it, for multiple reasons. I mean, my guys were fully into it and supported me and gave me the idea of trying to do something with still getting permission from her in a way that I've never thought possible. And then, like I said, just having the opportunity, I mean, I'm, you know, I'm not I'm special, but not that special. I don't wanna, I'm not gonna, be negative about myself, but at the same time, I you can't, ego is the worst thing, and I've talked about it on the show before too and in person. Egos, you get an ego in this, and that's why I said, I mean, did I do something? Maybe. Maybe it was just enough, "Hey, Tim." And so like I said, it's neat. It's neat, and, we don't always need the validation, like that, or, when you do readings or something, but, sometimes it's nice to still get that validation, and like I said, with her, literally within minutes of when I'm wrapping up, she's, springing back to life after pretty much wasn't there was just only time left, it was just ticking away. So to see her starting to recover, and obviously still not out of the woods yet, and still ways to go, but again, it gives her a fighting chance, that, it can still be on her, along with a lot of you know medical staff that, will certainly, be working with her. But I think because she's a fighter, she's fighting a little too much. She does still need to rest, but I'm sure she's going to be she'll be a hoot, but at least she's awake, she's coherent, and she's talking to family, and I think that's, what more can you say, from pretty much your deathbed to, being awake again. So I try to bring some of these, stories that happen, and since don't get to do as much, it's always like little things, even things that aren't really related to, spiritual things. But this was kind of one of those fun moments for me that I I was glad, glad to see things, you know, moving in a positive direction. But then again, even if they didn't, and they still continue to get worse, that's just the way it is. And I would be acceptable of it, regardless that, at least, um, maybe extended it, just a little bit, but it is what it is. Yeah. Debbie, next time, don't give anyone a spiritual Red Bull. Yeah, that's true. Um, but you're right. And like I said, and Jill saying that, yeah, it's little things, that make the difference. I missed a bunch of comments. Sorry about that, because I just I was in the moment right there. But I'll go back and read everything here. So I'm glad I got to share that. I'm hoping too that maybe, in the future that this lady will actually get to see this this moment. um, and who knows? Who knows? It's it'd be kind of neat, if she springs back so much to where she can actually watch this back, and you know, maybe know she had, a little extra helping hand, from technically the other side. Just kind of giving her a little encouragement, and just doing what we could, So, but yeah, so to hope you guys, enjoyed that. It was pretty. Again, it was really one of those neat things that you know, I keep saying it over and over again, but I'm just so grateful to see some positive outcome to it so far. And Grant, hopefully we'll stay in touch and watch to see her get back on her, feet again at some point. Um, so with that said, I went a little bit further than I wanted to, but I still wanted to talk about it since we are getting a lot closer. I do want to jump into the topic even for just a little bit, because I do have an announcement at the very end of the show. So if you guys can hang out to that, oh, thank you, Lisa. Uh, stay tuned towards the end of the show. So we, again, 10:30 Eastern time is usually when I end. So sometimes I'll go minutes over, but I do have something. I do have a fun little announcement, but save that for the end. So you guys stick around. But don't worry, I'll be posting about it too. Eh, so yeah, right, Dad. um, I was looking back actually yesterday, and I've actually talked about this. I kind of reworded the topic just to have it a little different, and I reworded the topic today because again, I think I've done it the last 3 years in December of all times, but I wanted to mention that with our loved ones that have passed and crossed over, we talk about it at Halloween. At least I have been over the years too. You know, they always say like in Halloween the veil's thinner, and a lot of the spirits come back during that time around Halloween, and so they always say that. But then for several years now I just kept noticing more and more spiritual energies and activity, whether it was for readings, whether it was for, doing paranormal investigations. It always seemed like December was a huge spike in activity. And I never really noticed anybody bring it up. Now, I'm not saying I'm the first to notice it, but I didn't see a lot of people bringing it up as a topic. And then more and more people have caught on because they started realizing the same thing. And I've seen it now. I've seen a lot more other, mediums and investigators and things that have all been like, man, it's really kind of crazy, right now and stuff. And it's like, I think we're taking notice of it, which is great, but I looked at it and just, from a simple explanation, you know, this time of year, we are always, it's all about family. It's about getting together, and so you think about all the different, depending on the size of your family, whether it's real big or where it's real small, but we're always getting together, and it's always that fun time of year for everybody. I know it's stressful for a lot of people. I can't say that I'm not stressed on a few little things too, but it's, you know, overall, when the party is finally happening, we can kind of push all that stress that led to getting to, the gathering a little bit more break, and then you can enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, we all are, once we're all together, we're all smiling, we're all happy, we're loving each other, we're just, it's that moment. And so, we know, most of us know, and I'm saying, and if you are, listening or watching the show and, you're on the edge of things, that's okay too. That, our family and friends do come back to visit us. I mean, again, that's, nothing wrong if you don't believe in that. That's fine. Uh, but a lot of us that have had so many experiences, it's hard to just, pass it off as something, natural, or, it's just, we just get to, it just happens, And for me, doing work over the years, you connect with people in December, and you're just got so many spirits wanting to chat with people or connect with people. And it's just how it is. And so I looked at it from the simple aspect of that. It's because of that. They're so used to being with family this time of year, because it's a loving time of year, regardless of the stress, but it's a loving time of year, and we all get together, and we get to have some fun. We get to, have some great food and desserts, and, if you can afford it, people can exchange gifts and presents. And even then, those of us, that have kids, whether they're still young or where they've gotten older, you get to see, how excited they get when they get to open things up, whether, it's something that you gave them or there's something Santa gave them. And, it's really an amazing time of year. I mean, and I know, there's some Christmas songs that talk about that too, that it's a great time of year. And, and it's how it should be. We should be able to do this, and we should be doing it more often. I mean, if you think about it, if we were able to do, like every other month or something that, had something to where it really stopped for the whole day, not just, for a specific thing saying we're just going to focus on this, um, but if we had something like this that we did that. Now, granted, a lot of us will have gatherings. We will say, "Hey, come over." It's the summertime. We got a pool, or we live on a lake or something, or just come over. We'll just have we'll have cookouts and things, and so that's great and that's important. You know, I think it's those we have to like force it in a way. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. What I'm saying is that to you know I to be able to like stop the world like Christmas does, and granted, if you don't celebrate Christmas and you celebrate something else, that's awesome, um, I'm just using Christmas as a general term for this, but it literally stops the world in a way. I mean, technically, if you look at it for the lack of it, I mean, really 24 hours straight, is just an amazing energy that sweeps over the whole world, and that is, something we don't get to see very often. Now, New Year's is the next one. So we in a week we get, some back to backs like that. But we really don't get to see that, for the entire world to sort of stop for a moment and just enjoy each other, and stop all the other negative stuff that's going on. But so it is kind of, one of those things that's great to be there. So our loved ones coming back, they want to be, they still want to be a part of it. And they want to be a part of it just as much as you want them to be a part of it. And, I know it's tough for some that have lost, people this year and it makes, the holidays rough and it's understandable, but never, ever deny the fact that if you just say, hey, can you be with me on Christmas Day? You know, they're going to be there. That is the same thing of what I talked about just before here. If you want healing, you have to ask for it. You want a reading, you have to ask for it. I mean, you you, you want to eat, you're going to have to either make it yourself or you're going to have to ask somebody to make it for you. You know what I mean? So just like that, if you don't feel like your loved ones are around, just ask. Now, you may not notice them because you're just not that, maybe you're kind of closed off a little bit, or maybe you're skeptical, which is fine. But it is a rule. It is a rule on that side that when you ask for your loved ones or friends or whoever to come visit you, they will. They certainly will. And there's too much experiences and validations, all of the entire world that this has happened. So it's not even me just saying it. It has been, I mean, it is just, there's no way to deny it. But it happens, and it's so cool that they can show up and they can observe it, and then they can still feel like, they are truly there. They're just in spirit, but they get to be there and feel the love and the energy that you guys are all still doing, and showing that, you're carrying on, and that you guys are still loving and being happy, and maybe reflecting on, maybe if it was that this year that's, you've lost some loved ones, you reflect on their lives and things, and that they can't ask for anything more than that, to be able to hear you talk about them, or to have you ask them to be there, for the holiday. That is just over the top amazing. um I know I'm missing a lot of comments, everybody, so I'm so sorry. I do apologize. I normally try to keep up with them, and I've gotten way off track, so I'm going to be doing a lot of homework after the show. But so thank you for all the comments and everything you guys are doing. Um, but right, it is so important, and even then, you don't always have to make it just a holiday thing. Ask them throughout the entire year too. But like I said, this time of year, they want to enjoy things just as much as we still do on this side. So it is important to throw that invitation out to them. Yes, they're probably around all the time anyway, but it doesn't hurt, because again, they want to hear it from you too. And you don't have to say it out loud. You can say it within your mind. Hey, so and so, can you be here today? And they're there, you know what I mean? So it is pretty cool. And I know I've experienced it too, had some family members that have passed, and you ask them, hey, hang out with us today, and they do, and for me, I can kind of like open that door a little bit. Yeah, they're there, I can close it, then I can, be around family and have some fun and stuff. So but right. Yeah, dad. Yep. Birthdays and anniversaries for sure. But yeah, so yeah, and I know, we're going to be back next week, but I just, wanted to get this out there now. So if you, as you're getting ready for, Christmas and or whatever, you celebrate, doesn't hurt to start putting those intentions out there, that if you want them to truly make sure they do visit, say, hey, I really want you here, don't hesitate to start doing that now, and they'll appreciate it, and they will make it happen. Again, they may not be tugging on your shoulder, or they may not be, knocking your cup of coffee or your glass of eggnog on the ground, but they'll certainly be there, and again, if you're open enough to it in the right way. Hey, Sharon, good morning. If you open it the right way, you might feel like a little bit of a cold breeze, or maybe you'll hear a little bit of a voice, that sounds different. Maybe it's a whisper, or maybe you see a coin. That's always a famous one. It's a popular one. Coins showing up where there was no coin there just moments ago, or the night before. Those are the little signs that they will try to do to make you understand they're there and they're visiting. So, and keep that in mind throughout the rest of the year too. But again, if it's a little bit harder and you're not maybe as open to a lot of this stuff, just be aware that they'll do that. They'll do what they can. And even then, I'll just keep expanding on it. Maybe a favorite Christmas song. Maybe they had a favorite Christmas song. They had a famous Christmas song, and that just happens to pop up out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember that was grandpa's favorite song, or grandma's favorite, uh, whatever, So sometimes it could be just these little things that just pop up out of nowhere. And that's how that works, Um, myself and a lot of people that are in the chat that do a lot of this, holistic and metaphysical work, we're very open to those signs, because we've just worked to be ready for them when they happen. And so right. And we're just so in tune to it. Now, don't get me wrong, I have missed my share of messages plenty. But a lot of times, if I'm not completely, like, exhausted beyond belief, I usually can get the majority of the messages, or signs that something's happening, or somebody's here. It's not that my house is open. I always keep mine closed up, so that's always key. I don't open it up to everybody, so you have to be invited through the doors. Again, I'm the one asking for it, so spirits just don't walk through the door that I don't invite in. So they are stuck on the outside unless I say come in. So, and that's just the way I put my foot down on that stuff. But again, if you're saying their names and you're saying who, these family members, come on in. That's there. That's all you need to do. Be specific. Just don't be like, hey, everybody, come on over. I don't think you want that. You're gonna you're gonna have a little bit different party than if you're asking for everything to come through, to come over to the party. Don't do that. That's gonna be a whole nother, probably horror movie at that point. so so yeah, be a little careful, but just be a little specific too at the same time. Um, but let's see, 12, 20, okay, not bad, not bad. So let me take another sip here. Not bad. I I get, yeah. Normally, I'm always like talking. The last few shows, minus last week, I'm always kind of going past it. But I'm kind of at a good spot. I feel like I can really get to the announcement, a few minutes early, and actually end on time for once. So, uh, uh, yeah, why don't I just do that? We'll just go right into this. So, I gotta switch things around. Get my mouse back. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? There it is. I gotta pull him out. Do that, and then I'm gonna get something ready. Hopefully, it doesn't pop right away. Nope, nope, nope. Ooh, that was close. I don't know if anybody saw that real quick. I wanted to do it, I want to do it a little bit. I did this the wrong way, but I wanted to do it. I thought this way would be easier, but apparently I didn't do that right. So anyway, next week's show uh, is already locked in. I haven't posted it, but I'm going to post it right after this. As soon as this show's over, I'm going to post the next show, because I literally, as of yesterday, got this confirmed. Good, good, good. I'm glad nobody saw that. Um, I mean, it was like my logo thing, so you at least saw that. But you didn't get to see what there was something else in the logo that you probably didn't see right away. But yeah, next week's show is locked in, and what I'll do is I'm going to show the logo first. Well, I'm going to show the banner. That's really what I'm going to call this. And when I do that, I'm going to be on the screen too. um, I I'm going to explain everything, because most people that have been around know that it's not the norm for me. But I had to do this, and it was time to have a little bit of fun on a show. So Next week's show, like I said, is locked in, and this is what's going to happen. So I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to have you guys look around the screen to see if you can find it. So see if you can find it. Just see if you can see anything that stands out a little bit that may may or may not be somebody you know, which is pretty cool. And hopefully I don't have to like go and point it out because that'd be even worse. There you go. I got Amber at least catching it. So yeah. All right, I'll move the mouse over here. There you go. Right over there. Yep. So I've been, the mid-morning show hasn't really been about guests. I have had handful of guests total, over the years. And because it's so early, and of course I'd love to have other people on, but it's like, a couple times when when I was gonna try to do some more guests, and then you kind of get kicked back over, and I get it. And if they're out late Friday nights, or they're going to be out late Saturday nights, I get it, because they don't wake up early for this show. And so that's what I love about this too, is even if there's those of you watching this that, uh, maybe you're watching this back and it's not live, Saturday morning right now. It's kind of fun too that, everybody can check it out when they can, and I appreciate it, uh, but yeah, I will, right, Jill. I can ask him, I can see if he's got, a little dumbbell or something he can have on camera and stuff. But yeah, again, I don't normally do the guest because again, it's so early, and I don't want to record a show to then just run it recorded, but yet, kind of live in a way. I want the interaction with the audience and things. So, Tim, was willing to set his alarm. He's willing to set his alarm and wake up to join me next Saturday, the 23rd. And we'll just have some fun for the hour. It's Tim. I've been on Tim's show a few times, and he has been on this one at least once before, maybe twice, in the past. So, it's always a hoot. And Tim's been a great friend of mine. It's, I'll talk more about Tim, next week, so that way I can, make him blush and things like that. But I was joking with him when I was asking him yesterday, if he'd be willing to do this. And I said, "Hey," I said, "don't worry, you don't need any makeup. You don't need makeup." And I said, and anybody that knows Tim, I said, and Tim, I said, just get the brush out and comb your hair. You'll be fine. You don't have to look that great for this. I said, I pulled my hair back. I mean, I kind of straightened the beard out a little bit, but I said, but yeah, just, comb your hair. You'll be fine, buddy. So, so he was like, LOL. He's dying laughing. So, because if anybody doesn't know Tim Shaw, he's bald. So that's right. Yep. That's exactly it, Debbie. Where the elite meet next to the dumpster transfer station. I got it. I remembered it. I've seen the show. I've seen the Black Cat Lounge several times. So I'm starting to memorize, his wording and stuff. So, but and maybe I'll have to try to come up with like a hybrid one, so I can sort of say a little bit of his and maybe come up with something of mine, and we'll just end the next week's show with something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure something out. But yeah, Adam doesn't have the budget. Yeah, see, Michelle, I know. Sorry. Um, it is nothing personal. It's nothing personal. Um, well, like I said, the, the the show is meant for this. You guys know, most of you know, it's always about roundtable discussion, and that's really what this is supposed to be. I throw the topics in there because sometimes I don't have enough to share with the rest. But also, this is kind of one of those things. We're finishing up around the breakfast table, and we can kind of throw some stuff out there, ask some questions, and that's all this is. This is, anybody's ever watched any type of Saturday or Sunday morning, local news shows. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a hybrid of that, except we're kind of talking some other, funky story, stuff, but and topics. But that's kind of like, I liked it. I just wanted something that, was at a time where nobody else is really having to focus so much, but at the same time can maybe learn something or, help them, go throughout the day, pondering, more things on a said topic or questions that, have come up. So, but yeah, so next week it'll be great to have Tim on and it'll be fun. It's always fun. So yeah, it'll be a good time, and we'll make it happen. And again, early thank you to Tim, for willing to jump on. know, so all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go on with my day, and good catch, Amber. Dang, as soon as I saw Sunspot, I looked over at the corner of my screen. I'm like, it's not there. Any of you that came into the show super late, just watch like the first few minutes of the show. You'll see right here a weird glowing, smudge it looked like. And then it was actually the sun coming through a basement window that was oversaturating my green screen behind me. So it was great, but good catch, Amber. I really appreciate that. I didn't even notice that. I'm talking away, So so we're I'm gonna go on my day and should be kind of chill. I'm gonna watch the boy. The girls are gonna be going to a music. It's not a musical, but it is a play. So it's a big touring production. So they're gonna be doing that this afternoon. Hey, Amy, hugs back. So yeah, I'm gonna be able to chill and stuff, and stay out of trouble. But as always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for helping me, get through the mornings, help me get through all the things that have gone on this year. And hopefully, hopefully some of the stuff hey, Jody, good morning. Hopefully some of the stuff I talked earlier, it kind of shows, some positive things that can happen out there, and, I'm still forever grateful for that opportunity to jump in, even when I'm not fully back yet. And I'm glad, huge thanks to everything supporting me from behind. My guides did a hell of a job letting me do this one. And I had a moment where I wasn't sure I was going to be able to help. I thought I was going to just have to do my standard, just like here's a little energy, and just that was it. I didn't think I was going to get as much accomplished. And then to hear, instantly, um, my friend, waking up and stuff, and then off event, the following day. So, I mean, it's awesome. So anyway, yep, I will, Amber, you too. But yes, thank you guys for being so supportive and hanging with me. And we will definitely braid you. I haven't, Jody, this year, you can tell I haven't done that this year at all. I have not even, I think only once did I just tie it together. I haven't, I just haven't had I should. I'm going to be going on break after this week, so I'll have a week off. I should do some testing and stuff. So I should, but I will. Yeah, it's long enough for it. I mean, I got plenty. So, but right. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it, and look forward to next week's show with Mr. Tim Shaw. And I said I will get that posted literally after I close the show out. I will get that posted so you guys can actually hit the reminders if you would like. That way it'll pop up in your notifications and it'll dance on your screen so you can check it out. Cool. Yep. Hey, thanks, Chad. Yep, but it will be. And so we'll have some fun and have a great week. Have a great weekend. And anything pops up, hit me up. You got any questions, hit me up. Be careful this week. I know, probably gonna be a lot of shopping this week, I would say. So if you're going out and about, be careful, be cautious. People I know are going to be a little edgy, so take it easy. So you braid your beard into your hair, right? Yeah. So, so yeah, with that said, you guys have been watching the Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thanks for being here. I will see you guys next week with Mr. Tim Shaw. And as always, all my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Take care.